Hello and welcome to another edition of Mike's Recommondays. This week I'm going to recommend Prisoners, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve. He's French-Canadian, so I'm American and have hard times with accents. Because freedom. Freedom. Anyway, if you haven't seen Prisoners, Prisoners is about these two families who I think it's Thanksgiving. It sure feels like Thanksgiving. Their daughters go missing, and the subsequent search for their daughters, and the day they went missing, there was this RV in their neighborhood. They search for this RV and find out that there's this guy. He becomes the number one suspect, obviously, but there's not enough proof to keep holding him, so they have to let him go. The police has to let him go. And Hugh Jackman's character takes things into his own hands and kidnaps the suspect and holds him prisoner. This is a movie that is definitely ran by its all-star cast. You have Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Paul Dano, Maria Bello, Melissa Leo. It's just, the list is endless of all these great actors. And all of their performances are just spot on. Hugh Jackman is almost unrecognizable in his mannerisms because it's such a intense role that even more intense than Wolverine. There's more anger there. There's more disgust, more depression, and all that. It's a very powerful role for him. All the roles kind of fill in together. You have the juxtaposition between Hugh Jackman and Terrence Howard, where Hugh Jackman is irrationally and uncontrollably angry, and then Terrence Howard, his character, is just, crippled by depression. You see how these events affect different kinds of people, and it's just a great balance between all of them. It's just an incredible acting by an incredible cast all around. The cinematography was done by one of my favorite cinematographers, Roger Deakins. He lights it in such a way that it's so natural, which is why I think people don't like it. It looks so natural that it could come off as boring to some people, but in fact he's really one of the most realistic cinematographers out there, and that's why I love him. He uses natural lighting and other things so well, and captures the real world so well. Definitely the best part of this movie is the mystery behind it. You're never sure exactly what's going on. Even the main suspect, he's portrayed by Paul Dano in such a way that you feel sorry for him. You're not sure if he's actually the one that took it, but you also don't trust him, which is very hard to do, and Paul Dano did a fantastic job of getting sympathy but also making it so you don't trust him. It really created the conflict of who had done it in your mind, and that was an amazing thing to do for Denis Villeneuve and the writer whose name I don't have. I'm sorry. For how intense it is, it's also very understated. There's no fanfare or extremely epic scenes. It's all normal, real situations portrayed in realistic ways, and it has an understated climax, which I'm not going to go into what it is, but you're not sure if you just watch the end, because it feels like there should be so much more, in a good way. I know to some people that could be a bad thing, but it's done in such a way that it leaves you talking about it. It leaves you coming up with your own theories and thoughts of what had happened, and it's just a masterfully done film by Denis Villeneuve. If you haven't seen Prisoners, I highly suggest you check it out. It's available on DVD now. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. But yeah, definitely check it out. Put it in your Netflix queue. Go out and buy it if you have to, or borrow it for someone who has it, because it's definitely worth the watch. So while I was editing this, I realized I completely forgot to rate it, so I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It's definitely a great movie. I highly suggest you check it out. Below is going to be Corey's take on it. It's one of his favorite movies, so find out what he thought in the link section below. Thank you for watching that video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've seen Prisoners, comment down below what you thought. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What problems did you have with it? I personally loved it, as you just saw. Over there, that's going to be my last week's Recommondays, which was for The Birth of a Nation. Check that out, see what I thought of that movie. Over there is last week's Glenn's Day, which was for Warrior. Definitely check that out. That's also a great movie that I suggest you go see. But yeah, check out what Glenn thought about it. Below my face is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on that to find out what we're watching, find out what we're doing, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. You know how this whole thing works.